Hello everybody, Reaper X1 here again, playing some more Terra Tech, and this time in the R&D of version 0.7.4.11. Hey, it rhymes again, right on. And once again, welcome. I hope you have been having a good one today. Kinda glad you come back and found me, see the little bit of an update I got on my useless machine. And yeah, after the big tear out, I've been making some progress. Been building her back up, and I got this idea of having a resource tunnel. So I thought maybe that'd be a cool idea that I might enjoy. Hopefully it'll be more efficient, so it'll be able to just do everything that much faster. I'm hoping anyway. However, I did figure out a few things along the way while doing this. And some of them aren't that great. I'll just say that right now. There's one that ain't that great. It really throws this out of whack. Way worse. It doesn't work as good as I thought it would. Or that it should. Because really, I think it's just something with the game not doing stuff right. I don't want to say any more about it. So I'm not gonna. Not just yet. Wait until I have my example. So as you can imagine, this has been sped up quite a bit. But this is all leading up to my my most recent big test of this machine, and just to see how useless it may be, and hopefully how good it might look. I'm hoping. The back's got me concerned. I'm not sure if that's going to be as nice as I thought, but gotta try it to find out for real. Guesses are only good for so much. So I don't want to waste all my work just on a guess that it might not look as good as I originally hoped. So like anything, it may turn out to be some hours I shouldn't have done, but we'll see. This turns out to take quite a while. Next, I think by the end of all this, I ended up with 12 hours worth of video, but there was a 4-hour nap in there when I fell asleep waiting. But you'll see why. This is going to be split up over 2 episodes, so I figured that way, a little nicer. Just the thought I had. But yeah, right now I'm just trying to get the roof done up for this tunnel of resources, because I'm hoping that they'll be able to travel around constantly enough so it'll look like you're almost walking through a rainbow tunnel, I guess. Rainbows aren't really my most favorite thing in the world, but, got no issues against them. They're colorful and pretty. And I'm hoping it kind of, gives it a moving feeling to when my little dude, because I got a little dude too. I don't know if I've shown him yet. I think I have. Useless Mo. So I'm just kind of waiting to see how it all works out, because I've noticed some weird stuff. Okay, now, resources were traveling through blocks before. I haven't actually tested this recently. I keep forgetting to do it. I've been intending to, but I just keep forgetting. But resources were traveling right through blocks. Alright? But I've kind of noticed that they have their collisions back to a little bit, at least some effect. People are making elevators with them and different things like that. So they're colliding with other techs. So that's interesting. So I'm kind of wondering how I can work that out. I don't really want to copy the idea of making I've made elevators. Now I know those elevators are more automated, which is really a cool idea. I may make one at some point, but I doubt it, because I could see being an option that's taken out. And if I'm gonna make an elevator, I'm gonna push it to its limits, and spending 40 hours or whatever it may be on something that's just gonna get removed as a bug. I don't want to do that. Small build maybe, I don't know. I might play with the idea somewhere, see what I can do with it. I do have some ideas for it, honestly. But it's all a matter of just figuring out how much it can do. But I thought this thing, getting back to thinking of resources, it needed a way to add resources, because the R&D does not have enough resources in it, for most of them, to fill this. Because each one is intended I think those, they give you 40, roughly. Ooh, that didn't work out. But they give you 40 each spot. Yeah, just in case you're wondering, this does actually work. It's nice, actually. I didn't think it was gonna, but I built the first one, loaded the second one, and it worked out. And look, all but one wasn't lined up. So, you know, this new build beam stuff and all that was awesome. But like I was saying, I think each spot only gives you 40. I've said this a couple times now. I'm hoping that, you know, maybe the developers, you know, see these, kind of take a hint. Not to be mean, but, you know, it would be better to have at least one of these infinite, never run out. Maybe just go slower on all of them, but be infinite. Like, just in the R&D, that's the important thing. Because, yeah, if you only get 40 out of each, we got 6, so what's 6 times 4? 240, right? I think. My math might be alright today. But then I got 3 large silos for each. Now that's 90. So 90 times 3, that should still be 270, I believe. So I'm 30 shy right there. And I don't even know if that's enough. I'm just putting that in as my starting resources for when I start the machine up. And then I'd also like to have more in, like, there's a bunch of silos in there. I could probably hold maybe 20,000 chunks of resources in there. I'm guessing. So I know I've made 18 to 20 passes over the old resource field, and it filled what I had before. And I've upped the capacity on the holding side by an extra silo per resource. So, yeah, it can hold quite a bit. But I can't get enough, so I have to get I'll be doing quite a bit of scrapping, I figure. As far as it working with the machine, no, I put that in there. That's just a test idea, that one. I will rebuild it. I'll get a nicer setup in there, and it'll have its own capacity and a way to deal with components. And so I don't want components running through my system. It'll mess things up. They may look neat floating around on the conveyors, though, so that might be interesting. I just have to have a way to drop them off and deal with them after a while, I guess. Huh. Maybe we'll work with that some other day. Yeah, as you can see, you know, it's all working out pretty nice, pumping along good. But yeah, I figured I'll do my scrapping over here, get this set up, so then I got this many lines of scrapping. Each core can be scrapped at each spot. Should be a little more efficient than doing it all on the useless machine. And not having the useless machine loaded into the game right now, that's the big help. That's going to speed things along quite nicely. I can't remember how long it actually took to mine this drive originally. I don't think it was very long, though, not with that setup. It might have took almost as long to place them as it did to actually mine the fields. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna do some heavy scrapping today. We'll see what I can hopefully pull off as a storage area. It turns out fairly nice. And actually what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna post the save that I got from the R&D. That's all has like thousands of resources set up waiting in silos. I'll post that up. And then I gotta remember that. Yeah, I forgot. But anyway, I'll get to it. I will. So yeah, I'm gonna post that. So, you know, if you got a big build, you need a lot of resources quick, it may be enough. May not, I don't know. Depends on how many silos you want to fill. But yeah, one thing is it may load in and may drop stuff. I've had some issues. Yeah, get my magnets going. That should help things nicely. And yeah, let's load her up a wee bit. See what she does. Yeah, I kind of went through and I figured out what I need to get certain resources. But some of them, you know, it's just giving me the refined version. So like I was saying before, there was some that I couldn't really find an unrefined version for. Maybe I missed them, I don't know. But if you know ones what blocks it takes to get every single raw resource, please let me know. It'd be awesome. Because I don't know, I've went through it, I think twice now, so I would have missed, I think it's the red, the oleite or whatever. It might change names. But yeah, there you go, important to save. So as you can see now, I got a little bit of a start on it. I've been scrapping my butt off. Got things fine, a little finer tuned on the whole system. Because yeah, I started to fill things up, so I had to deal with the selling of stuff. Clear the way, so to say. Man, I'm rhyming today. Nice. Now, if things would just chug along this fast normally, while they are moving. See, this is a downside when you let something work. And you go and you have your supper. Things get jammed up. But as you can see, it's still working along pretty good. It's still moving, so I'm happy enough with that. That's why I kind of left it in. It's not held up by a lot. There is some flaws in this system, I know. It's not perfect, but it was working. It was getting the job done, so I'm happy. And yeah. So as you can see, I have done quite a bit of scrapping. Because there's been a lot that's been wasted. I got so much of that blue, the titanite. So, yeah, another save. Important. Don't want to lose after this. You end up having a corrupt save or something doesn't work out and you haven't saved. Oh man, it would suck losing it if the game crashed. Like, this is a long time. Like, a lot of waiting. Especially when it slows down as it gets going. Gets more stuff on the go. But all the resources being in the holding beams, it does seem to... Oh, it saves a lot of frames. When you drop them all on the floor, though, that could be... Ooh, it might slow things down a wee bit. That's my guess, anyway. Yeah, just kind of chugging along, getting her all done. Now, this fast would be cool. They were talking about adding a speed control for the conveyors and the resource conveyor systems, refining, crafting, I think was part of it. So that could be pretty sweet. I don't know if it'll let you do anything this fast. I'd be happy if things just timed out perfect all down the line. So like my refinery can refine as fast as a conveyor can move, and the conveyors can't move faster than the filters can take stuff off of them. Because it sucks if you have 3, I think it is, or maybe 4 chunks of the same going by one refinery set to that resource. It's probably going to miss either the 3rd or the 4th one. Especially when you really get a bigger build, it seems to get a little sloppy. I don't know if the lag or whatever does a lot to it, but I think it does something. But yeah, I got kind of a kick out of watching those just jump in the background there. It was almost like one equalizer. It just didn't change enough. I guess I should have lowered some and maybe had some higher, get the different levels. I don't know. It's almost like the heartbeat of it. That's Jaws' theme, never mind. I'm getting my things mixed up. Yeah, just doing a little bit of cleanup. So I figure, you know, I'll fill it up. I don't really need all this other. Then as you see, you run into some issues here and there. You gotta be careful with stuff. Yeah, I just dropped a ton of it off of there. Get that out from underneath though. Kinda get it accessible. There, maybe that'll be the safer bet. I'll tear that off. Alright, well I guess we're gonna have to get that all back on here. Because things do slow down when that stuff happens. Anyway, we'll build this up a wee bit. So as I'm doing this, I think it's about time that I call this section at an end. We'll get this mess cleaned up and we'll be back with the next part. So until then, you know, would like to thank you once again for joining me and remind you that, hey, about the Saturday Showcase. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. But yeah, if you got a cool and original tech or a couple of them, you know, the link down in there for the auditions. It'll take you to my thread. Just post your in-game snapshots or your save game there, and you know what? You could have your very own video with your very own created text. And, you know, we'll share our ideas, and hopefully we can inspire everybody, and we'll have an awesome time doing it. You know, it's a good way to kind of help the channel out, you know. It's a nice thing, I think, and, you know, have a lot of fun doing it. And other than that, you know, I'd ask you to throw a blue thumb at me, comments down below, you know, subscription if you haven't, and ding the bell to boot. It'd be pretty cool. So until next time, everybody, keep being the awesome, and keep having a good one. Bye.